Look like Emma Meesseman is definitely headed to the WNBA. Could she be potentially teaming up?
DeWanna Bonner thought she was making power moves when she quit the Indiana Fever. Now she's watching from the sidelines while Emma Meesseman might join the team she abandoned. The same Fever that's now championship contenders with Caitlin Clark. Talk about perfect timing, right? Bonner's career decisions are looking more questionable by the day. This situation is absolutely wild. Do you think DeWanna Bonner regrets quitting the Fever now that they're becoming a destination for elite players like Emma Meesseman? Oh man, where do I even start with this mess? We've got DeWanna Bonner sitting at home, probably refreshing her phone every 5 minutes, hoping some team will throw her a lifeline, while Emma Meesseman is getting courted by half the league, including the very team Bonner decided to quit on. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife.
As well. Shout out to Annie Constable with First Off in Sports because she simply put out an article that has just shook of WNBA fans all over the country. Let's pull it up right now. So this is Annie Constable X account, man, and it's pretty much breaking down exactly what has been happening, man, with this whole DeWanna Bonner situation and Emma Meesseman. Now, word on the street is that Emma Meesseman, has been receiving offers from several WNBA teams. I did a video a couple months ago letting you guys know how the Fever should have been trying to sign her.
Let's break down exactly what happened here because this story has more twists than a soap opera. DeWanna Bonner, two-time WNBA champion, decided she was too good for the Indiana Fever and just up and quit mid-season. Not asked for a trade, not had a meeting with management, just straight up quit like she was working at a fast food restaurant and got tired of dealing with difficult customers. Now Emma Meesseman, one of the most talented players in the world, is considering a return to the WNBA, and guess which team is being mentioned as a potential destination? That's right, the same Indiana Fever that Bonner thought wasn't worth her time. The same team that's now building something special around Caitlin Clark and looking like a legitimate championship contender. Emma Meesseman isn't just any player either. This woman is a former finals MVP who can play multiple positions, shoot from anywhere on the court, and brings championship experience to whatever team she joins. She's exactly the type of veteran presence that could take the Fever to the next level. And here's the kicker. She might actually want to play with Clark and be part of something special.
Multiple sources, the interest in Meesseman, who is considering a return to the WNBA, but has not definitely made up her mind. It stands across the league, man. Contenders like Minnesota, New York, and even Phoenix have the best shots. This is what they saying. Atlanta in the 2019 Finals MVP. There was an expectation around the league that Bonner could end up in Phoenix. And according to multiple sources, DeWanna Bonner discussions around signing her, the two-time WNBA, was excluded. Bonner is a two-time WNBA champion, but as of right now, there's not a lot of teams.
Meanwhile, DeWanna Bonner can't even get a phone call from teams. According to reports, there's not a lot of interest in signing her, and it's pretty obvious why. When you quit on a team mid-season, that sends a message to the entire league about your character and professionalism. Teams don't want players who are going to bail when things get tough or when they don't get their way. The timing of all this is absolutely perfect from a karma perspective. Bonner quits the Fever thinking she's making some kind of statement, and now the Fever are positioned to potentially sign one of the best players in the world. It's like she cleared a roster spot for someone infinitely better than her.
Okay, the moment you've been waiting for. We had so much talent on the court, so much talent, but we do have to pick one MVP. So averaging 18 points a game in these finals, almost 5 rebounds a game, 22 points tonight, and she did it all series off the bench. Emma Meesseman, your MVP.
Let's talk about what Emma Meesseman would bring to Indiana. First off, she's a legitimate post presence who can score in the paint, something the Fever have been missing. She's also an excellent passer who would complement Clark's playmaking perfectly. Having two players who can create for others makes any offense exponentially more dangerous. Meesseman can also stretch the floor with her shooting, which would open up driving lanes for Clark and create more space for everyone else to operate. She's basically the perfect modern big, who can do everything you need from that position. The fact that she might want to join this Fever team shows how much the franchise's stock has risen. The contrast between Bonner and Meesseman couldn't be more stark. One player quit when things got challenging, while the other is considering joining a team because she sees the potential for something great. One player put herself before the team, while the other has always been known as a consummate professional who makes her teammates better. What makes this even more embarrassing for Bonner is that she quit right when the Fever were starting to figure things out. She didn't stick around to see if the team could turn the corner, she just bailed at the first sign of adversity. Now she gets to watch as the team she abandoned potentially adds elite talent and makes a playoff run. The Fever fans are absolutely loving the situation, and you can't blame them. They had to deal with a player quitting on their team, and now they might get a massive upgrade in return. It's like trading in a broken down car and somehow getting a luxury vehicle as a replacement. Indiana's front office probably couldn't have scripted this better if they tried. They get rid of a player who didn't want to be there and potentially add someone who actually wants to contribute to what they're building. That's addition by subtraction and then some. The league-wide perception of how Bonner handled her exit from Indiana is clearly affecting her ability to find a new team. When you quit mid-season, you're essentially telling every other franchise that you might do the same thing to them if circumstances don't go your way. That's not exactly the kind of player teams are lining up to sign. Emma Meesseman's interest in potentially joining the WNBA, and specifically being linked to teams like Indiana, shows that elite players are starting to take notice of what's happening with the Fever. Clark's impact goes beyond just her individual play. She's making the entire organization more attractive to other top-tier talent. The fact that contenders like Minnesota, New York, and Phoenix are also reportedly interested in Meesseman makes this even more significant. She could choose to join an established championship contender, but the possibility that she might pick Indiana shows how much the franchise's trajectory has changed. For Bonner, this has to be the ultimate what-if scenario. What if she had stuck it out with the Fever? What if she had been part of the team that potentially lands a player like Meesseman? What if she had been patient and trusted the process instead of taking her ball and going home? The WNBA is a small league where reputation matters tremendously. When you quit on a team, word gets around quickly, and it affects how other organizations view you. Bonner is learning this lesson the hard way as she sits at home, while her former team potentially adds elite talent. Meesseman's potential addition would be huge for Clark's development too. Having a veteran player of that caliber to learn from would be invaluable for a player in only her second professional season. The mentorship and championship experience Meesseman could provide would benefit the entire young core. The defensive impact Meesseman could have shouldn't be overlooked either. She's a smart defender who communicates well and can guard multiple positions. Adding that kind of defensive presence to a team that's already shown improvement on that end could make them a real problem for opponents. What makes this situation even more delicious is that Bonner probably thought teams would be lining up to sign her after she left Indiana. She's a former champion with decent stats, so in her mind, she probably figured she'd have her pick of destinations. Instead, she's finding out that character matters more than stats in a league where chemistry is crucial. The Fever's transformation from a team players want to leave to a destination for elite talent has been remarkable to watch. Clark's arrival obviously played a huge role in that, but the organization's commitment to building something special has been evident throughout the process. If Meesseman does end up in Indiana, it would send a clear message to the rest of the league that the Fever are serious about competing at the highest level. It would also show other potential free agents that Indianapolis is a place where elite players want to play. The fan reaction to this potential signing would be incredible too. Fever fans have been through a lot over the years, and adding a player of Meesseman's caliber would energize the entire fan base. The combination of Clark and Meesseman would make for must-see basketball. From a basketball perspective, the fit makes perfect sense. Meesseman's skill set complements what the Fever already have, and her experience would be invaluable in high-pressure situations. She's played in finals, she's won championships, and she knows what it takes to perform when the stakes are highest. The business side of this potential move is interesting too. Adding a player like Meesseman would likely increase ticket sales, merchandise, revenue, and overall fan engagement. The Fever have already seen a massive boost in all those areas since Clark arrived, and adding another marquee player would only amplify that effect. For DeWanna Bonner, watching all this unfold from the outside has to be torture. She gave up her spot on a team that's building something special, and now she might have to watch as they add elite talent and make a championship run without her. That's the kind of regret that keeps you awake at night. The lesson here is pretty clear: don't quit on your team when things get tough. The WNBA is a league built on relationships and reputation, and when you damage those by quitting mid-season, the consequences can be severe. Bonner is learning that lesson in the most public way possible. If Meesseman does sign with Indiana, it would complete one of the most dramatic roster turnarounds in recent WNBA history, from losing a veteran who quit on them to Potentially adding a finals MVP would be an incredible transformation in just a matter of months. The whole situation perfectly illustrates how quickly things can change in professional sports. One day you think you're in control of your destiny, the next day you're watching your former team potentially sign a player who's significantly better than you. That's exactly what DeWanna Bonner is experiencing right now. Think about the psychological impact this has to have on Bonner. She's watching her former teammates potentially get ready to play with one of the best players in the world, while she can't even get a workout with most teams. That has to mess with your head in ways that go beyond just basketball. The Indiana Fever front office deserves credit for how they've handled this entire situation. They didn't panic when Bonner quit, they didn't make desperate moves, they just kept building the culture they wanted. And now elite players are interested in joining them. That's how you run an organization. What's really crazy is that Bonner probably thought she was doing the Fever a favor by leaving. In her mind, she was probably thinking she was too good for what they were building, and they'd regret losing her. Instead, her departure opened up possibilities they never would have had with her taking up a roster spot. The domino effect of Bonner's decision is fascinating to watch play out. Her quitting led to roster flexibility, which led to the possibility of signing better players, which led to the team becoming more attractive to elite talent. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you ends up being the best thing. Emma Meesseman's track record speaks for itself. She's won at every level she's played at, from college to the WNBA to international competition. She knows what it takes to win championships, and that kind of experience is invaluable for a young team trying to take the next step. The coaching staff in Indiana has to be excited about the possibility of adding Meesseman to their system. She's the type of player who makes everyone around her better, both with her play and her basketball IQ. Having someone like that to anchor your front court changes everything about how you can play. For Caitlin Clark, having a player like Meesseman would be incredible. Clark is still learning the professional game in her second season, and having a veteran of Meesseman's caliber to play alongside would accelerate her development tremendously. The passing combinations alone would be spectacular. The contrast in how these two situations are playing out is just perfect. Bonner thought she was making a power move and ended up powerless, while Meesseman is in the driver's seat, choosing where she wants to continue her career. One burned bridges, while the other is building them. What makes this even more embarrassing for Bonner is that the Fever aren't just potentially signing any player, they're potentially signing someone who's objectively better than her in almost every way. It's not like they're settling for a lesser replacement, they're upgrading significantly. The timing of the WNBA's roster cutdown dates and free agency period is adding extra drama to this whole situation. Teams are making moves now, and Bonner is watching from the sidelines, while players like Meesseman are getting courted by multiple franchises. If this does happen, it would be one of the most satisfying examples of karma in recent sports memory. A player quits on her team. That team then potentially signs a significantly better player, and the quitter ends up unemployed. You can't script it better than that. The message this sends to other players in the league is important too. Don't quit on your team expecting everything to work out perfectly for you afterward. The WNBA is a small league where your reputation follows you everywhere, and actions have consequences. For Indiana Fever fans, this would be the ultimate validation. They had to endure the embarrassment of having a player quit on their team, and now they might get to celebrate signing one of the best players in the world. That's a pretty good trade-off. DeWanna Bonner thought quitting the Fever was her power move. Now she's jobless, while Emma Meesseman might join the team she abandoned. Sometimes karma works faster than we expect. The Fever keep winning while Bonner keeps losing. This whole situation proves that character matters more than stats in professional sports. What do you think about this mess? Like and subscribe.